Hello, everybody. I'm Daniel. I'm the founder of Startup CPG, and I'm really excited for today's webinar. This is just kind of one of those like low hanging fruit areas that just, death by a thousand cuts. Like, don't lose money that is actually yours. We really appreciate Glimpse as our partner to try to help educate brands on this area of deductions because I think the toughest part for brands that have a good product, good founder, good energy to go out there and get accounts is just like money that, the like leaky bucket, the money that just kind of falls off that you need. You're going to need that money. You're going to need to go and pay for stuff and pay for people and pay for shows and pay slotting. And so it's just like always, I would say maybe the most complained about part of CPG is just paying for things that you shouldn't actually be paying for. And Glimpse, we really appreciate you guys as our partner in this area to help brands understand like, well, what can I do? And definitely you can use Glimpse, and it's a really good option because it's like a super low fee, and then they will just take a commission off all of the money that they go and get back for you. But the whole idea is like people will deduct from your check that they're sending you for the product things. Some of it you signed up for and is valid, but also some of it is not. And when you actually go and challenge that, the success rates can be really high. Like if they shouldn't have deducted it, if they don't have evidence for it, then you get that money, and that's great. You're going to need that. And we all know that like margin is the name of the game these days. And so let's try to have the best margin possible. So with that, let me please introduce Anthony, who is going to be speaking today. Anthony is going to be presenting a number of slides on the topic, but also hit us with questions in the chat here. I'll help kind of surface some of the ones that I think are most broadly applicable for people. But, anything goes on deductions today. This is a no holds barred deductions chat. So here we go. Anthony, you are up, my friend.
Keep the questions coming. Do whatever you guys need to do. I'll try to answer them to the best of my abilities. But thank you, Daniel, for giving me this platform and this time to talk about deductions and some strategies about this. So a little bit about me. I am Anthony Chang. I am an implementation manager for Glimpse. So what that kind of entails is basically my main objective is to help roadmap connectors like Unify, KE, Amazon, Walmart, you name it, any of these connectors, and help with the engineering team to basically just kind of automate the data from their platform and then into ours. So from like all the remittances, the backups, we're all just digesting that into our platform. On top of that too, I also work closely on specific tools like cash applications for your ERP systems and stuff like that, just kind of giving the overall structure, and then hopefully we could fully automate that and go beyond that too. Some couple other things is quote unquote unofficial snacks are at the NYC office. Usually we'll take a bunch of snacks that we like, and obviously the snacks that we have under our current platform too as well. A little bit about me too is I also been working on my own shelf-stable beetroot shot. That's been also a challenge, but also a fun road too as well. So I kind of understand, the aspects of both sides as a startup founder, and also, the importance of, minimizing deductions and understanding it too, and, creating strategies to kind of gain your margins at the best of your abilities. So a little bit about my background too as well is, so I've been really in the finance, accounting aspect of the CPG world for a little bit. My main career was at Body Armor as an accountant / in the finance department, and I kind of worked cross-functionally across the teams there, in the commercial finance team, sales team, ops team, to kind of just talk to each other to kind of gain a better visibility of all these deductions. So I was there for about 5 years now, managing the direct business. And that was basically about 20 to 25% of their revenue, depending on the year.
I see some good brands in that cooler, by the way. I see Leisure, I see Prickly. This is good stuff. You guys look well hydrated in there.
Yeah, leisure's delicious. Definitely love it too. We that's usually one of our favorites for sure. But anyways, yeah, I'll jump right into the agenda of what we're talking about today. So we'll do a couple things. So one, why do we care about deductions? Deductions to fight back, to fight immediately, how to fight back, cash application, and just overall AI for the CPG industry. So, what is a deduction? A deduction is when a retailer or a distributor pays a brand, they deduct money from each invoice from various costs. Usually, it could be like it's a mix of a lot of things, just trade spend in general. So usually, it's promotions, allowances, operational charges, freight charges. Honestly, you name it, they're probably going to take it. So that's the whole spiel of them. We usually see an average of 2 to 3% of top line revenue being tied up completely in invalid charges, and that's a huge strain on, especially for CPG brands. Uh, Keeping as much money back as possible and to grow your business is incredibly key from when you're starting it to kind of growing it to mid market and then eventually to enterprise. Cash is incredibly important into growing into what you want it to be in the next 5 years, 10 years, and so on.
So if 2 to 3% is invalid, that's like what the total deductions could be, what of top line revenue, like 15, 20%, something like that. And so let's say like 80% of them are valid, probably stuff you signed up for, right?
Right.
But then the 20% that isn't, like that's important, right? Because it ends up
Absolutely.
being 2 to 3% of revenue. So, and
Yeah.
that's just cash you need back. It's not like there's not like a COGS associated with that. Like it's just all money you would drop right down to the bottom line.
Exactly. And that's a great point, Dan. You said about like 15 to 10% of your trade spend is usually typically expensed, but for small markets to mid-size, they actually might be spending a little bit higher than that. They could be spending to like 25 to 30%, just because you're really starting. You're really trying to get your name out. Brands like Coca-Cola, they don't really need to spend that much because they've already captured so much in terms of their brand name. They don't need to spend that much. Oh, well, we actually just touched upon it, but yeah, trade spend is the second or third biggest expense behind salaries and COGS. Control your destiny and protect your margins by managing trade spend correctly. With these big box retailers such as like Amazon, Costco, BJ's, and your distributors, 2 to 3% of your top line rate is being tied up to your invalid charges. Uh, a majority of these deductions are invalid, but it is important to validate every deduction that comes in to catch, the needles in the haystack, aka invalid charges. They do come in at a lot. When you get a remittance, sometimes they're obviously 2 lines, 3 lines, whatever. It's very very obviously simple to kind of digest that, but sometimes you'll get these remittances that are probably like 2 to 3 pages worth or even more. And now like you're looking at hundreds of lines in one remittance. Now you basically have to go there, digest it, understand, what this even means, what category is this for, look at the backup. There's so many things that, are going on within that specific remittance. And, to that point, needle in the haystack, you might find 1 or 2 lines that are invalid, but if you can't manage it and not really understanding what all this says, it's going to slip away very quickly. So it's very important to catch these needles in the haystack, if you will. Um, but yeah, doing these correctly really increases your margin and your value and your valuation. Scaling fast and lean, identifying, disputing quickly is incredibly key to reducing your P&L impact in terms of writing off these deductions, these invalid deductions specifically, just because they have a pretty tight window. These retailers, these distributors do state that. It's very unfortunate that there are a tight window, but this is like part of the business. This is why it's so important to kind of manage it so you can basically reduce all these invalid charges, keep all your cash possible to invest and grow in your business into something more meaningful. So we'll dive into a specific deduction that I think is really the bread and butter of recovery, and how these retailers and these distributors really kind of hone in on these charges. So this charge is specifically operational charges. So as you start to scale with distributors, you should expect to see freight related deductions claiming short shipments, late fees, and et cetera. Freight deductions make up around 90% of dispute wins. Shortages in particular are high disputable. I've seen it personally in my past. I've seen it in Glimpse. We definitely have seen, collecting all that data possible. Definitely shortages are 100% the way to go to minimize your P&L impact. So these types of deductions are often valid. Most brand founders don't have the right documentation on hand to even know, let alone recover that lost revenue. So what that means is basically like you're gathering your PO, your invoice, your BOL, bill lading, and then package that together and then disputing. That takes time too as well, because it's just basically one line item. These distributors and retailers can be, taking shortages on, let's say, like 10 POs within 3 checks or whatever. So now that's 10 different packages that you have to dispute. And the more revenue you do with these retailers and distributors, the more chargebacks you get. Hence, more shortages are coming in. So now you have to keep up with the volume too as well. So it's just like it's a trickle down effect. And it's just something that basically it's very key to manage that.
So just to dig into this a little bit, because this always blows my mind that 90% of dispute wins come from freight deductions, which so let's talk a little bit about what freight could mean. So you mentioned here, okay, shortages, right? They were supposed to get 20 and they just say we only got 10, right? But you win those a lot of the time if they don't have proof of that, right? If you're
Correct.
well, there should have been 20. Where's your evidence for this, right? Can you send me the backup, the photos, or what kind of stuff are they supposed to have?
Yeah, so they actually make you do the work. They'll just say, hey, we only received 10 out of that 20 order, and then that's it. It's up to you to kind of say wait a minute, what's going on here? Why is this happening? And then you gather the supporting documents, and then you send it to them, and then they kind of review it. So they kind of make you do the work, even though they probably can find it themselves. But they basically want to collect as much cash from you as possible too, as well. So
yeah, I know it can feel kind of funny, as if your friend went to Vegas and you're put $20 on black. He's all right, you lost. Well, but did I though? I don't know. There's no way to know. But then, yeah, so you have to prove it out. You have to go and get the data and send it to them. And, I think one thing that I just always like to put out there into the universe is you all need to go and get this money. You need to go lobby. This is just the way the system is built. KeHE, UNFI, best known distributors in our space, they have this huge operation. They are not sitting there probably spending 100% of their time doing so much due diligence. It really is on you to check them on this stuff. But they, as people, the people all I know who work at UNFI and KeHE are good people who love brands and want to support them. As far as I know, there's no person there who's let me get all this money from the little brands by having crappy deductions. They don't really want to have any bad deductions either. So you definitely need to challenge this stuff and go get that money. You're not going to piss them off because you have the proof that their system was wrong. They don't want to have these errors. Do you think that's fair to say, Anthony?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's fair to say. They're just doing their job. They're just just getting a paycheck, whatever. But there's a lot of variables that come into play too within these transactions. It's not just KeHE and the brand. There's a carrier too now. Within that warehouse, there's people working there too. So some things might shift or whatever. There's just a whole bunch of variables of why there's a shortage created. Not just from KE's mismatch, maybe the warehouse itself of where it's being picked up or whatever has an issue. So there's just a whole variable of why this is happening. So yeah,
Yeah. Let
definitely
me,
don't want to just say it's just like KE's fault for sure.
yeah. They're good people. They really are. They're like very lovely. I always get to go meet them at their shows. KE is a B Corp. That's incredible. Okay, I want to throw some questions out here from the audience. So Gozda was asking, what level of annual sales from KE and UNFI do you recommend this program for? This program, I think, meaning just the Glimpse service.
Gotcha. Um, so we don't really have like a specific threshold. So we'll always intake anybody in terms of what we see. So this is why we have this free trial to kind of just gauge on, I guess if you're qualified to kind of be able to handle this type of platform and stuff like that. So the trial kind of really promotes a risk-free. Yeah, a risk-free environment to just see, what's going on with your data for I think it's up to 1 year if that's correct.
I just dropped the link, by the way. I know we'll have it at the end of the deck, but the 30-day Glimpse free trial is, I just put in the chat, but it's tryglimpse.com/trial. So free 30 days. Go get that money. Okay. Go get that money. Okay, when Glimpse supported our karaoke party one year, me and the Glimpse team, we did a song called Thrift Shop because we're all about being thrifty and getting that money. And it was a very beautiful version. All right, another question here. Enough about my karaoke. Okay, so Nora says, I'm going to put this on the screen. We have trouble identifying what the deductions are, who the retailer is. Do you know how to find out more info on deductions? We email to the void and rarely hear back. Hello, what are the
Yeah.
deductions?
So that's a great question. So this is that was always a pain point for all these brands, and one of the main core reasons why Glimpse was created is to kind of allocate all this data backup identification into one central platform. So yeah, we definitely once you're on the Glimpse platform, we digest your data and stuff like that. Everything's broken out by line item, what the deduction is. It has the backup, what the retailer is. It gives the whole world of what this specific chargeback is and stuff like that. So that is really the beauty.
But it should be, when you get a deduction, like it has to say some basic info, even if they're like sending it to you in PDF or whatever. I know it's like nicer when you get into Glimpse, but like you should be able, if they're deducting something, be able to at least understand what it's for, right? And there may be some coding that's hard to understand.
Oh yeah. If you they it's not like just numbers and whatever. It is somewhat directed, but to like fully understand it, there needs to be some sort of I guess expertise or maybe some slight digging to really fully understand it. Like take it for example, like they're like there's KE has promotional charges. It's sometimes just coded like Walmart whatever, and then like that's it, and then they just give you a backup of probably maybe the activity, but they might not say like what month or what a specific activity was for and stuff like that. So you kind of have to just kind of go back, double check what you authorized and stuff like that, and then you realize
Yeah.
that's for that promotion and stuff like that.
And I think in the first webinar that we did with the Glimpse team this year, we actually went through what some of the codings mean. Maybe Tess, our producer, can put in the link to that first webinar we did this year in case anybody wants to go and check that out. All right, let me get to some more questions. Okay, I like this one from Mari. Is there a time frame by distributor that you're allowed to challenge a dispute? Like, credit cards have like a 90-day period or something.
Yeah. So every retailer does have a dispute window. Off the top of my head, I think KE is 6 months and Unify is up to a year. I have to double check that, but it might be the other way around too as well. But every single retailer does have a dispute window, which I always emphasize why you have to be on top of it because of these windows are a little bit tighter than usual than compared to like other retailers too as well. And also it does stem down to specific chargebacks as well within like that retailer. So if it's like a vendor compliance chargeback, it might not be the same window as a shortage. It actually might be less. I think if I remember correctly, Walmart or Amazon had an incredibly tight vendor compliance window. Like I think it was within like 3 weeks or something like that that you had to basically fight, or it was just lost cause.
Oh, that's scary. All right.
Yeah.
So, okay, a couple more here that are coming in. Eric mentioned about like get your BOLs, your bills of lading, which I know we're going to talk about on the next slide here because he lost a bunch of pallets and you got to have that so you can actually challenge it. Stephanie asked, how successful are short ship disputes with KE given they say the UDR rules all? The UDR meaning the unit damage report, I think. That's
Yes.
when they say just, hey, some stuff leaked or was damaged. We had to throw it out, just so you know.
Yep. Yeah. So any shortage related deductions, we it's usually we're pretty high success rate on that. I would say it's also roughly like 90% too of a win if as long as we get all the supporting documents, everything states correctly that it was shipped in full. There's really no way that they could deny it. The POD literally says that you guys have received it, and these are the X quantities. Obviously, if there's cases like they reject the load and they actually return or whatever, that's a different story. But if they're claiming actually cases that are mismatched from your order, and we have all the supporting documents, the BOL, the POD, and the order itself, it's really impossible for them to deny that.
Okay, so she asked what documentation can lead to successful disputes, but just kind of what you mentioned. So the bill of lading, and the other stuff you said.
The POD, that's proof of delivery. So it basically states it's like KHE's like basically signed off that they've received this order for sure. So it's like it's basically like a tied agreement. Like it's confirmation that they definitely received it, and like an invoice for what you own invoice to KHE, that usually should tie everything together.
Okay. And Stephanie corrected me. So UDR is unloading discrepancy report. Thank you. I've been out of the game too long. It's good when people check me on that. I don't know it all. Okay. Larissa asked, will it track free fill or items to ensure that doesn't get duplicated by the retailer?
In terms of glimpse tracking it.
I think the question is more like, cause you have to pay free fill and it's not so like like if they're deducting for free fill items, that's going to come through on the deductions report.
A
right?
deduction.
And
Oh yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, like literally any type of deduction that you could think of that you do business with KHE, it's always going to be on the remittance. So everything in terms of like free fills, scans, shortages, freight charges, like you name it, it's going to be on the remittance. It's I guess it's nice that they do that, but it's also scary how much they charge in terms of the scope of deductions.
And if you authorize free fills, like, one case per store, per SKU, whatever, like, how much that should be total. And it's mainly going to come through the distributor because most of you probably are, if you're working with these bigger accounts, like mainly it's going to be through a distributor. There are some exceptions. So the distributor is actually your customer. They're the ones who are buying the product from you. And they're the ones who are going to be short paying the invoice because they got short paid or going to get short paid by the retailer. So it shouldn't get really duplicated. Unless I'm not understanding something.
Yeah, I mean, it could be duplicated just because, like, system error or whatever. But that's the whole point of deduction management is just to double check that what you authorize is what you authorize. There's no sneaky stuff going on.
And Laura adds, since so much is freight, she suggests a photo and maybe a video of your loading if you can, because that has won back money for them.
Oh yes, that is definitely a great tactic too, as well, for sure.
If you can, I don't know enough to know whether that's something you can really ask your warehouse to do consistently. Just take a photo of everything, but that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining like on a roller coaster, they have that camera that's always just like hitting every single car that goes by. Like maybe they just have that. Okay,
that would be nice.
I think I've gotten to most of the questions. Maybe we can keep rolling, but guys, keep the questions coming. This is great. I love when we have partners who really have done this. Anthony has lived this life. So keep the questions coming.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Onto the next area. So operational charges. I guess we've been talking about it for the last couple of minutes or so, but I'll just go over it really quickly. So, best thing you can do is to get the habit of keeping detailed documentation from the start to finish. Um, to win a freight dispute, you generally need a BOL along with a PO, packing slip, POD, as we mentioned too, as well, to kind of tie everything for a package to dispute into KE, Unify, or these retailers as well.
All right, I've got a question coming in from Caden, which I think this is a hardball question. I love it.
Ooh.
Caden. So here's what Caden asked. Since Glimpse charges a monthly fee and a small commission on recovered deductions, how does the company handle dispute process? Are you like prioritizing high dollar deductions or all invalid deductions, regardless of the amount? Because they want to make sure every deduction gets chased down. Because if he's like, oh, you're going off commission, you probably just try to hit the big ones and get your nut there,
Yeah.
But that's a good one, Kate.
No, that's a great question. So we don't just tackle like high dollar amounts for commissions. We tackle the whole range of deductions if they are invalid. So we have like AI agents kind of going in within our platform to kind of just digest the data and figure out basically like what is invalid. So we have a specific AI agent for shortages. Where it basically goes line by line for all shortages that we have identified, and then it basically will deem if it's invalid or valid. And from there, we basically just gather supporting documents that we need, and then just on to disputing them. So we don't just just take care of the dollar amounts because of commissions. We want to basically scope out the whole work of all invalid deductions.
And then lastly, someone said free fills should be deducted at the distribution price, right? Not the wholesale price. Otherwise, it seems like we're paying the distributor's profit margin, which I think you
Right.
do. I think you do pay that, though.
Yeah.
I think it's actually at the wholesale price because the distributor, they still need to get paid for moving stuff.
Sure. Yep. Yep.
Unfortunately, it's hard out there for a brand. That's why you got to get all this money back. I think a few people are asking about Glimpse pricing. By the way, do you mind just sharing? Because it's like a low monthly fee and then a commission. Do you mind just sharing generally what that can look like or a range or whatever?
Yeah. So the pricing structure of what we've designed, it's a blended model, and it also is determined basically based off of companies' revenue per I guess channel like KE Unify. So that's kind of how we calculate it. But we're also very flexible in terms of the blended model. If a brand wants just a flat fee, we could just do that, and then less commission. Or if they just want a lower flat fee, and we could just increase the commission, we could do that too as well. So we're very flexible in terms of our blended model.
All right, and I just put again here the link. I just suggest you guys chat with the Glimpse team when you talk to them. Remind them that you're a beloved startup CPG brand, and see what they can do for you. All right.
So yeah, I guess stemming back from operational charges and stuff like that. So we have case study like Kin. So they've said that if we're saving a bunch of critical bandwidth by automating our manual chargeback processes. Now we don't have to hire a new employee to handle this. So we've recovered, for example, a 10K single chargeback for them. And that was just one line item. Imagine we're going through a year's worth of data, new payments coming in, stuff like that. And the fact that we're just able to identify these dollar amounts very quickly and efficiently really helps these brands just increase their margins, minimize their P&L impact for write-offs and stuff like that. And it also makes them look really good to these investors when they have to present their financial statements. These investors got to be like wondering, it's like, damn, how are you guys, doing so well in your margins, stuff like that. Glimpse. That's all you have to say at that point.
Anthony, what's the biggest deduction you ever got back?
The biggest deduction I ever got back in history. This was in body armor. We got a post audit for an OI allowance. I think I got back around 500K. That was a single chargeback.
Amazing.
And it was the most insane thing ever, because we were talking about it. We authorized exactly what the dollar amount was, and then lo and behold, next year we get hit with that post audit, and then I see the title of it, of what it was. I'm like, I know exactly what this was. Sent the file over. I'm like, that's BS. This is how much you basically took from the original promotion. You guys are incorrect. And then we went back and forth for probably 3 emails, and eventually they reversed the whole thing.
If anyone in the audience has like a crazy deduction story, or if Anthony has any war stories, I want to hear those too. Like just have some weird situation, and then you sent the photo, but in the photo there was like an escaped prisoner there who was like in the background, like stealing the product. I don't know. Michael said he got 800K from Walgreens. All right, there we go.
Yeah, yeah, it's insane. It's actually insane.
I'm gonna make the next like Ocean's 11 is gonna be about this, and it's just gonna be somebody figuring like Walgreens getting 800K from a brand or something. All right. Okay, another question that came in from Steven. How does the platform integrate with accounting systems? Are you closing out open invoices or creating credit memos or anything like that?
Yes, we are. I'll touch upon that in a couple more slides, but I'll go into some details too as well. So, yeah, we have an API connector to let's just say QBO, and then from there, basically, our coding basically creates a credit memo for deductions, and then also separates out repayments too as well. So we'll also create a internal invoice for repayments to kind of be able to actually record it, just because for the specific scenarios, if a specific remittance only has a repayment, you can't create a repayment in the credit memo because it would be a negative amount, and QBO doesn't allow that. So that's the reason why we kind of structure like that. And then from there, basically, we go to the repayment section, and then we select the AR invoices, all the credit memos and repayments associated to the remittance, and then we just close it out via the AI.
Cool. And then another question that has come in from Stephanie is, can you, in Glimpse, can you sort your deductions by like retailer, retail chain, arrange everything? Is that possible?
In terms of like KE and like KE, Unify, Amazon, Walmart, stuff like that, we definitely can sort out like that. But I guess if you're asking about KE and who they're distributing to, I'll give you a sneak peek. We're working
Hey,
on.
yeah.
We got something. It's coming out very soon. I don't want to say anything else, but that's all I'm saying right
Oh,
now.
that's cool. Yeah, because she said it wasn't available a few months ago when she did the demo, but it sounds like something's coming.
Yeah, very very soon. That's all
All
I'm
right.
saying.
Scoop. You heard it here first.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, right here. This is exactly what we're just talking about. Yeah, so automated versus manual Cash App. So the whole aspect of Cash App is, it's very important to record all these deductions, these accurate trade spend numbers, and it also helps accurate accurate reporting for your AR aging, so to know when invoices are in danger for loss. So what I mean by that is, like, let's say you just incorrectly recorded a invoice that wasn't on the payment for some reason or whatever, but then the actual payment never got recorded, so it's technically still open. Um, if you do that, that kind of slides your AR aging too as well. You'll see that in the 90-day range, and then once you go ask the retailer, like, oh, like, why isn't this paid? And now they go back, like, it is paid. And then now you have to go reconcile, like, what's going on. Now you're just like chasing internally. And maybe the other invoice, hasn't been paid yet. And now it's like, actually, 90 plus days as well. There's a chance that you actually might not be able to recoup it, even though that you have the supporting documents, just because it's so aged that long. It's not, I wouldn't say it's going to happen, but you never want to have any of your AR invoices aged that long, because it's cash that you need essentially. Um, so yeah, the manual cash app is has a high chance of error due to high volume of data input versus AI that is seamlessly inputs data efficiently. I've done it firsthand early in my career. There's times where I get a check. There's like probably like 100 plus lines. You're just going one by one and manually inputting it. And then on top of that, you're decoding it. You're also inputting, the dollar amounts too as well. So there's a high chance of just room for error throughout the whole process of actually doing the cash app versus AI. It's like, it digests the rate remittance. It sees every single column specifically, literally just copy paste everything, and then record. Uh, as long as basically the sum of those line items match the check amount, the automation won't record it, or it will record it if it does match it. So that's like the whole beauty of automation. It really just kind of deletes the human input error, and it's incredibly efficient too as well. But yeah, this type of automation really gives back a lot of hours to your full time employees, or you yourself if you're doing them, and really helps you free up time to reallocate it to a lot more meaningful analysis, or business type of decisions that really impacts your overall growth of your company for sure. Um, and it really is time constraining doing manual cash app. It really does take time. I would say it, for someone who has done it, it would probably take you maybe like 2 to 3, maybe 4 hours, depending on if it's a very challenging rinse, a day just alone to apply all the cash you receive. So it's very time consuming. Like imagine, 4 hours, you could be doing something else. You could be doing like a cash flow analysis. You could be doing so many different things to kind of, build your business. But, now you're stuck just doing this manual cash app work. So we'll get into a little bit of, the financial slash cash application world. So actuals versus accruals. So actuals are real-time transactions of what has actually been received or paid to track cash flow. Glimpse's cash automation will help with that actual accuracies. Accruals is recorded when revenue slash expenses that has been earned or incurred but not yet received or paid. So what that means is, like, let's say you run a promotion in the summer, right? So you authorize that. That is technically, that's when you record your revenue or expense for that. Um, and then actual is when, the brand pays, 500K, or whatever it is, to you, like in the September. And then that promotion that you ran in the summer is in that remittance. So that's part of the actual real time transaction. Um, and we've really helped with capturing the actuals with some brands. So we've had a brand called Yaza. We've helped them offload the cash application for them, and it's really we really helped reallocate a lot of hours for them for this. And we've also tidied up their accuracies in terms of numbers too for actuals. So it's a whole offloading of their hours and a lot of stress off of them, and now we're helping them basically grow their business because of that. So what is Glimpse? Glimpse makes AI automation tools and services to help brands succeed in retail, starting with our end-to-end deductions and dispute recovery service. So deductions done for you via AI, human experts. I want to emphasize on the AI part. So we've automated, I would say, roughly 90% or maybe a little bit better. And then we have a human expert that kind of just goes over the top, just checks the AI in case something maybe might went wrong or whatever like that, but really helps on the edge cases or maybe deductions that are very challenging, like post audits, that kind of need a lot more give and take, a lot more documentation, and these experts basically know what to do in terms of fighting these invalid deductions. Sometimes that can be post audits and stuff like that. So on top of what Glimpse does, deductions for you, we do GL mapping and automated cash app. And that's also, I love that part, just because it's very cool to kind of just see, instead of just using our classifications and groupings or identifications, now we can take your GLs and your product service names or whatever, and we import that into our platform. So now what you're seeing on our platform kind of mimics exactly what you're used to seeing. So it's not like a fresh learning curve. It's custom built, I guess, to what you usually see. And I also mentioned about the pricing too as well. So it is a blended model. Um, we're always flexible in terms of what brands kind of are comfortable with in terms of pricing structure. So we are always open to work with the brand itself. Um, and like Dan mentioned about the 30-day trial, we do have that available. It's running till the end of 2025. It's a risk-free trial. We basically just digest your data. We'll give you like feedback of like a 1 year audit of hey, like this is how much you've had. This is potential invalid stuff. This is valid stuff. Um, these are how much cash you've received from these retailers or whatever, and then this is how much how much they're deducting. These are the amount of lines and stuff like that. So we'll really go in depth on what you've been being charged with, or what business you've been doing with KE Unify and all these customers. So yeah, it's a risk-free trial. Risk-free trial does not hurt at all. So yeah, well, like I mentioned before, deduction classifications, disputes, follow-up, and revenue recovery, all done by us. This is more of a hands-off type of deal. This is a white glove service. We basically, pull the remittances, the line items, the backup, and we just digest it into Glimpse's platform, into a centralized platform, so you can kind of see everything what's going on. On top of that, on the platform, you'll kind of see the disputes, what's going on, and what is denied, still going on, repayments that are definitely approved that we won or valid as well. So you'll have the whole picture of what we're doing for you for sure. So yeah, we've had who's using Glimpse. We've had a number of brands using Glimpse, like Leisure Hydration. Um, and we're always growing with the brand too. As we're always adding more brands as well. It's really nice to see all this. All the brands that we're really adding on, and it's just an awesome. It's awesome. It's an awesome fight to fight, essentially. So another brand case is Picker Fresh. We've definitely saved them 25 hours per month of deduction management workflow, 91% recovery rate achieved for disputed chargebacks, a 10% increase in monthly disputes. Um, take it from Alan Rush, the VP of Sales and Marketing, in his quote: "With Glimpse, several benefits have been huge for us, reducing time work, getting accurate information, and being able to transfer data seamlessly into QuickBooks." Um,
Look at that taco night trio. Glimpse team. I think that is a good office party idea for you guys with that nice New York office. Let's do a little
Taco
Tuesday
Tuesday.
taco night trio.
Yeah.
That looks big.
Nice.
It's eggplant on there.
Yeah. Maybe a little margarita with it too on the side, get a
Who
little.
knows? Might have to.
But yeah, we've had a bunch of brand cases that have loved us. We love the feedback from these brands. We're always striving to improve, but these types of feedback too as is so rewarding to us. We like to fight the fight for them. We want to see them grow. So it's really nice to kind of see how much money we're winning back for them. Just to kind of wrap it up a little bit, some parting thoughts. You know, something for everyone to kind of digest a little bit. So AI for CPG. So adopt the mindset of where we can automate to provide efficiencies, especially in areas of manual slash repetitive tasks. So like cash application, recording all these remittances and these line items into your ERP systems, and grabbing all these backups, understanding what these deductions means, you know, things like that that are manual and can be and are repetitive tasks that can be basically done by AI, and kind of give you those hours back to do more meaningful work for either yourself or the business. So two train of thoughts are here. So services like Glimpse that can provide a specific solution to specific workflows and pain points. And then also general AI tools, document processors like ChatGPT that enhance team productivity through through interdepartmental training and collaboration. Some other tools for what we've seen and very that are very effective too is for marketing and promo images, tools like Visual Electric, Google VO, Canva, you name it. Like these types of tools are incredibly helpful in terms of increasing productivity, and also like helping yourself kind of grow within your career too as well. So all the stuff, organizing notes, documentations into workspace. Gamma I love Gamma actually. Gamma is a great tool for presentations. Notebook LM, some market analysis modeling, Perplexity Deep Research, and Julius AI. Automate repetitive tasks. OpenAI operators lets you control your browser. That is actually like the most mind blowing thing as well. I always thought I was like, this is like legal like hacking. Like this thing is literally like moving around your mouse and like taking control of your computer. Basically, it's mind blowing. And then vibe coding. Just code just for fun. Base 44 is a great tool for sure. But yeah, that's basically the whole spiel of advanced deduction strategies. On top of that, with cash application, the whole world of this is very manual in a sense. Having AI kind of embedded in this really can grow your business and also reduce your headcount to keep it lean and fast. So yeah, just as an overall thought, it's just AI is a great tool. It's not going to hurt you. I think it will really help you in many ways. And I'll put that to I'll put where my money in my mouth is. If we have this trial, I think we can really help you guys see what's going on, what we can do for you guys. Our AI I think is best in class. Not even on AI itself, but the people that are in Glimpse, we have one of the best in class, I think.
I love it. Thank you. And just some questions that came in at the end. One is, so like mainly the thing we talk about a lot in this community is unifying KE because they hit most of the stores that we're all dreaming of getting into, especially in the kind of better for you product world. So obviously you work on deductions from both of them. What other distributors would you also be able to help people with? And somebody also asked about Canadian distributors like Unify and Purity Life.
Yeah. So for international distributors, we're definitely thinking about that. It's definitely on the roadmap. We don't currently have it, but 100% we are thinking about it. We've had definitely a numerous amount of brands kind of say that. It's just more of like what's down the map right now. But currently, yeah, on top of Unify, KE, we have Target, Amazon, 1P. We have Walmart, the whole Walmart world. So that entails WalmartStores.com and Sam's Club. That's how that Walmart entity works.
Cool. And
and we're
so
also, yeah.
if someone's working with like a small regional distributor, probably that's not something that's going to be in the platform at this point, but someday, who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So far, I think we knocked out pretty much every question. So if anyone else has a question, drop it in now. It can be about deductions, or if we got extra time, it can be any personal questions you want to ask Anthony are fine here also. Just kidding. Unless it's a good one. All right, cool. Well, I really want to thank the Glimpse team again for their help on this webinar. It's so interesting for me to see it. I hope you guys will give Glimpse a try. And even if you don't, at least go and get your deductions back. Go and fight and get that money. You're going to need it out there. So I'll just drop the link here one more time in the chat. And yeah, if you want the recording, you can get that off of our YouTube. So I'll put the link there. Just subscribe to our YouTube and you'll be notified when the link goes live. And we will be sending these slides around for all of you. So thanks again to Glimpse. See a lot of you at the event we're holding at their office November 13th, the Ops Forum. And we will see all of you again soon. Thank you so much, Anthony. You're the man.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye, everyone.